Hello, everybody, and Happy New Year. This is Public Allies' first roundtable of the year. And from Public Allies, we like to say Happy New Year, stay blessed, and take care of your mental health. So, today we're going to be holding a roundtable on one of the biggest and hottest topics, which is New Year's resolutions. But before I do that, I'd like to talk a little bit about Public Allies. So, Public Allies is a nonprofit organization. We help to support the most vulnerable individuals in society. However, last year, some stuff happened. We had a pandemic. Our normal programming we weren't able to run. So, we started finding ways to reach our viewers in unique and different ways. We started doing roundtables, webinars, and we looked at other modalities that make people nervous, that cause stress, that cause depression. And we found overwhelmingly that people were stressed about getting out into the workforce. People were stressed about learning how to be an entrepreneur versus an employee because now there wasn't a job out there for them. And individuals were stressed about being at home. So, what occupies you the best? What changes everything? We believe education is the great equalizer at Public Allies. So, that's where our mindset comes from when we do webinars, roundtables, and online discussions about great topics. So, if you have a great topic in mind, you want some information, or you're struggling with your mental health, reach out to us. So, I'm going to be your host and moderator for this. My name is Niru Padmanabhan. I am a financial professional as well as a trained mental health professional. And I work across debt, savings, and protection to help clients get the best out of their finances and reach their goals. So, I'd like to introduce the beautiful ladies on our roundtable. We have on my bottom right is Adriana Barros, if you want to just raise your hand. So,
Hi,
Adriana
everyone.
is a body talk coach. So, a body talk coach for the past 20 years. And for the past 2 years, she's also been teaching at the Body Coach College. So, sorry, the Body Talk College, pardon me. And what she does is she helps individuals get back to their normal modalities and help them reach their goals and feel good about what they're doing through energies and other modalities. She helps animals and specializes in helping individuals cope and get their mental health back to normal and feel good about themselves. She speaks several languages such as Portuguese, Italian, Spanish, English, and she also works globally in different communities. So her contact information is at the bottom, so you can contact Adriana for additional information. Then we have on the bottom left for me is Danielle Corcoran. Danielle is a money coach. She originally is from Newfoundland. She works in accounting and finance for 20 years, and she's managed some million-dollar companies, more than one. But she had some financial struggles, and through her suffering and through her silence, she learned that this was not a way. And she wanted to teach people how to do better, so she became a money coach. Although she has been licensed in finance, she decided that most people need coaching around their mindset. So their money mindset is what they need to work on, and she focused on developing the right behaviors, the mindset, and the habits to get to you to your money goals. And then we have Stephanie Lazarus, and Stephanie is to my left. I'm not sure where she's on your screen. And Stephanie is a certified transformational coach and professional speaker. She helps individuals set and achieve their goals through certain habits and achieve success through their professional and personal lives. She's a sought after speaker and coach, inspiring workshops and transformational depth coaching programs to help her clients. She also has her own coaching program, which she runs. So definitely get in touch with her if you want to learn a little bit more about how to get to the next level. So, ladies, we are going to be running our roundtable. So, I'll let our viewers know how the roundtable works. So, I'll be asking you 5 different questions. You'll have 2 minutes each. In between, we'll have a few rebuttals. But I actually want to talk about why we have money coaches, why we have body coaches, why we have transformational coaches here. A lot of people don't know that New Year's resolutions are set by 80% of the population. And a lot of people don't even understand why they set these goals. And they don't really understand why New Year's resolutions are important, if they even are. It's become a coin word. So, for people that go ahead and set the New Year's resolution and often fail, they need to understand what they're doing wrong. Is it them? Or is it the New Year's resolution? So we have here overwhelmingly that people set goals around their body transformation. They want to have more fitness, they want to have different body, and their fitness goals are at the top of the level. And then after that comes money, debt. And a lot of people say that they don't want to repeat the mistakes of last year. So they're looking for transformation. So we have our three speakers from all three modalities explaining to you why people set goals around these three particular facets of their life and why they might not be achieving them. So let's get to it, ladies. First question goes to Adriana. And the first question is, what is a resolution and why are resolutions so important?
All right, so good evening, everybody. It's funny that you picked me to go first because my background is linguistics. So I have a bachelor's degree in language and literature, and I specialize in translating and interpreting. That's why I speak so many languages. And then I switched to the healthcare. Well, I was interpreting the healthcare, but then I just switched careers because that was not what I wanted to do anymore, although I thought I was going to. However, by having the linguistics background that I do, I actually looked into the etymology of the words because for some reason, they never really sit right with me. I've never made a resolution or never set a goal to the point that if I didn't, I would have been so frustrated I'll kill myself or something like that. So I've never really pushed myself to extremes. And I ever went along with it. And then if it didn't work, I'll just, I would do something else, right? It's just like I think it's the fever of the New Year's that does that to people. However, going on to dictionaries, what I came up with is that resolution comes from Latin, and the original word is solvere, which means loosen, release. And it dates back from the early 14th century. And in French, it also means resolutionem. I don't know, I don't speak French, so, but that's what it sounds like. And the meaning of that word is a process of reducing things to simpler forms. In English, it's also breaking into parts, loosening, release, void, undo, relax, set free, make void, cut apart. So we are already, right, not like cutting off the responsibility, the connection with the word. That's for resolution. And then there's goal. Are we covering goal right now? Did you want me to cover goal?
No, it's okay. So, Stephanie, what would you say? What is a resolution and why are resolutions so important?
Resolutions for me, I think, people make decisions to set goals to either stop doing something or start doing something in the new year. Personally, I don't really like setting New Year's resolution. I like to reflect at the end of the year and take a look at that year and see what happened, what worked and what didn't work, and what changes I can make in the coming year. And start to implement those changes before the new year, because that will help you to get a head start and to gain momentum going into the new year. And I think it's important to set those goals. As Adriana said, it's like to cut away or stop doing something, because another resolution that a lot of people make is maybe stop smoking, right? Or even to start exercising. So it's a good time to reflect and to make some changes for the coming year and to get yourself to a good start for the new year. But I love starting things before the year starts because it gives you a head start and it helps you to actually stay focused and to be able to achieve that.
Amazing. Danielle, how about yourself? What is a resolution and why are resolutions so important if they are?
Well, I knew we were all going to be on the same page because I'm not a fan of resolutions either. So like the three of us have all agreed already. I knew that was going to happen. Again, it's that word, right? That word means like also resolve or fix something we don't like about ourselves. I mean, what did 2020 do to us but just make us just hate life, really? You know, like it was just such a hard year. And then you want to turn around and make a resolution, which kind of gives you that feeling of something else now I don't like. I don't like that I want to, you know, I don't like the way I look, so I have to lose weight, or I don't like that I smoke, so I have to stop smoking, or I don't like that I don't have any savings, so I have to put, so it's like you're putting this pressure on yourself, and we had so much pressure from 2020, and it's like, as soon as I hear that word resolution, I just want to cry because it's just added pressure on ourselves. And I think that it's important because the beginning of a new year is like, we feel like we can take this big breath and we can breathe and have a fresh start and get excited about the new year. So I think it's really important to look at what do we want to happen in 2021 as opposed to what do we want to try to fix about ourselves. I really think we need to give ourselves a break, pat ourselves on the back that we got through 2020, and really our resolution should be more about, you know, like just taking a breath and just doing more fun things, or just, you know, try not to do anything, or try not to be so, add so much pressure to ourselves on already a pressure-filled year. You know, I think it's important to still set some kind of intention, but it's about habits, and we're all coaches, we're all about creating habits. And I think New Year's resolutions should really be called New Year's creating new habits for the new year, and start with that.
Definitely. So, what we have here is our three amazing coaches saying that New Year's resolutions are really not that amazing and they really don't need to be set. And as Adriana said it's actually to cut away and simplify things. So, if we don't set resolutions, I'm going to ask an extra question here. Why do you think so many people are setting resolutions? Why do you think it's become such a coin word?
It's that fresh start. Like, I think it's that we have to, it's almost like this, we're just conditioned to do it at the beginning of every year. And I think it really should be, it's almost to the point where if we fail, we wait till next January to set it. So why shouldn't we set it every month and have a new month resolution?
Yeah,
you know, like it, right? Like it's really, it really just is a conditioning. It's just the way society is kind of, you know, grabbed onto that, but it's really doing a disservice, I think, to a lot of people. But I think that fresh start and a new beginning, a new chapter, I think it just gives us a little bit more energy about, yay, let's get going, right? As opposed to a new month or a new week.
That's amazing. How about yourself, Adriana?
I think that it's everything. Every time we start a new year, it's almost as if we've always hated the previous year, regardless of the COVID. And it's always about, oh, okay, I haven't done this. Like, oh my God, so now it's time to do it. And I find that if you set the bar high, like too high, it's just like really a big margin for disappointment. Because you're expecting so much of yourself, and if you don't, what do? And not only that, you not only put too much pressure on you, but you also give yourself deadline. The word says it all, deadline, right? So, and if you don't, what do? So, I mean, we don't even know, like now that we're looking at life differently, COVID doesn't give us all that much time ahead. And it's like, okay, we're not going to set goals long term because we have to deal with things in the present right now. right? And that's what we dealt with until now. So then setting goals for, or you know, any intention for like 2, 3, 5, 6 months, a year from today. I mean, God forbid, we have to be alive until then first, right? We have to make sure that we make through it. And then if not, people get disappointed. And what do we do with the disappointment that we put on ourselves, right?
So in terms of yourself, Stephanie, do you agree, disagree?
I think that it's still important to set goals. It doesn't matter what's happening really. And once you've set that goal and you've made that commitment, just start. Don't wait. Don't wait for a new year to reset. If you're experiencing some change in your life and you're starting something new and you've got a plan, you've made that decision, okay, I'm going to do that. Start right now. You can, live in the moment. Don't wait for a new year to start something new. Just start with where you are. Set your goals. And yes, we're going through a crisis and, everything that's going on in the pandemic, but I think you can still set realistic goals that you can still, or resolutions or goals that you can, but maybe shorter goals. So to give yourself a little bit of success, a little win to keep going, especially during this time. But I think it's still very important to set goals and still dream. We're still all living, we're not dead. So we have to keep going.
So we have all three of our speakers. I was counting myself as a speaker. So all three of our speakers telling us that resolutions often fail because a lot of people set them unknowingly, and a lot of people set them not realizing what the time is. And often what I'm hearing from you ladies, that they're a little bit punitive sometimes. So a goal should not be set just because it's the beginning of the year. A goal should be set because it's something that you want to do. That's what I'm hearing from you ladies. So it doesn't matter when you set that goal, and it doesn't matter what's happening. It's about creating those habits. And as Adriana said, you can't be so hard on yourself in 2020. And Danielle said, a lot of us want to wash away 2020, but it's happening and it's still happening. So if we're setting long term goals, we might not be able to achieve them because there's a pandemic going on. So moving on to our second question. So our second question is, why do so many people fail to complete their New Year's resolutions? Statistics show us about 80% of the population sets New Year's resolutions, but over 85% of those 80% fail to achieve even a portion of their New Year's resolutions. So, ladies, why do so many people fail, do you think? So, we're going to go with Stephanie to answer this one.
Okay. We kind of went through a little bit of it. So a few reasons I think that a lot of people fail to achieve their New Year's resolution is commitment. They just set it because it's something that they do every year. Everyone sets New Year's resolution and they don't, without no thought or any real commitment to whatever the goal is that they're trying to achieve. And then maybe after a couple weeks, then they fall off and then they quit. And then maybe they say, maybe next year I'll try again. Second reason is we touched on it a little bit, not setting realistic and attainable goals. Adriana said, setting your goals too big, that's setting yourself up for failure right from the get-go. So you have to set realistic and attainable goals. But also once you set that goal, I believe in dreaming big, stretch yourself a little bit. Give yourself room for growth. Don't make it so small, but make it enough that you can achieve it and you can have little wins, and that will help you to keep you motivated, and it will help your self-esteem. When you have a little win, then you want to keep going. Another reason is that the reason for the resolution or the goal is not a compelling reason. Why do you want to lose weight? Maybe because I want to wear that dress. But maybe you want to get back in good health and work out and exercise because maybe you want to have enough energy to play with your children or play with your grandchildren. That's a compelling reason. So when you feel like quitting, those reasons will help you to stay focused and help you to keep going. So you need a compelling reason. I think that's a very important one. So a lot of people don't have a compelling reason. And then the next one is also your mindset. That one is also very important. If you don't believe that you can achieve this goal or resolution, you're not going to. You have to align your mindset with that goal or resolution that you're setting. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for failure again if you don't believe it. So those are some of the reasons that I think that people fail. Another one, is having a written plan for achieving those resolutions or goals. A lot of people make resolution, it's just a thought, it's just something that's out there. But when you write it down and you have a written plan, you have a higher chance of actually achieving that.
That is a very, very good summary. I hope people out there are taking notes from all three of our amazing speakers. I'm glad that we have it on Facebook Live. I'm going to rewatch it and take notes later. Danielle, what about yourself? What would you say? Why do so many people fail to complete their New Year's resolutions?
Well, Stephanie stole my answer, so.
Oh, sorry.
No, I mean, it's again, we're putting so much pressure on ourselves to fix something we don't like about ourselves generally, right? In summary, that's kind of what resolutions do. And if we're not already doing the habit, let's just use weight, for example, because that's like probably the top one. It's losing weight or getting back into shape or exercising more and those kind of things. Me too. But I think if you don't already have habits that are already started that, and you're now setting a New Year's resolution to do it, if you just simply say, I just want to lose weight, then it's just a statement. What makes that compelling? What makes that make you want to stick to a simple statement? It's just easy to let it go and not do anything about it. So it's outside of our comfort zone if we're not already doing these things. So it means effort, it means commitment, it means, holding ourselves accountable. I always like Mel Robbins uses the term to parent yourself. So if you were a child and you didn't want to do something and your parents like, no, you got to do it. You have to parent yourself. Say, no, you got to do it. You got to get up and you got to go out and you got to go for your walk and you got to do it. You have to parent yourself. And I think that's a reason too, is we just don't force ourselves as much and hold ourselves accountable to the commitment of it, just like our parents hold the kids to it. One of my favorite things to do as a coach with clients is I call it the 7 whys rule. My number one reason why I think resolutions will work or goals work is the why. And just like Stephanie was talking about, why do you want to do it? You need to know your why. And you hear that all the time. What's your why? Why do you do the things you want to do? And if you don't know your why, you're not going to achieve it. So the 7 rules of why is every time if you set a resolution and say, I want to lose weight, it's like, well, why do you want to lose weight? Well, I want to fit in my clothes better. Well, why do you want to fit in your clothes better? Ask yourself why 7 times after every answer. Keep asking yourself why 5, 6, 7 times and find out what the real root of that answer is. And then once you really know, whether it's energy to play with the grandkids or, or just whatever, you figure out what that final why is, write it down. And then as you start to work towards it, and then you find yourself, falling off track, you reread that statement, you reread the why, just like Stephanie said, and it kind of remotivates you and makes it a little bit easier to get back on track, because your why is not about losing weight. Your why is deeper than that. So you got to figure out the why and write it down. That would be my number one piece of advice for that.
And Adriana, what about yourself? I'd be interested to hear it from a body talk perspective. So why do so many people fail to complete their New Year's resolution?
All right. So again, back to the etymology part of it. So that's one part, because internally we don't know why things are not working, but we are setting some intention based on something that doesn't mean what we want. Then I think planning, as Stephanie mentioned, is good. Aim or target is also a good one. However, once you set your mind to doing something, if you don't oftentimes it's because there's something inside of you internally that's holding you back. So it could be that in your subconscious sometimes don't want what your mind wants. Your conscious mind sometimes wants something different, right? And you don't know. So it's a matter of looking, doing an internal work and knowing exactly what it is. And like Danielle said, why do you want to achieve certain things, right? Is it for yourself? Is it for other people, right? Is it the pressures that society puts on you? And really going backwards and doing that analysis and really looking to see, okay, I'm doing this because, you know, I want to feel better about myself, or about, you know, or I want to be able to be more flexible, or whatever the intention is, but making sure that it is for yourself. And if there's things that are holding you back, going into the root of the problem and finding out what's holding you back, why you're repeating patterns that are maybe not even yours, right? Is it belief system? So there are different causes behind it.
It's amazing, ladies. I feel like I'm in a Napoleon Hill Think and Grow Rich mastermind class. I really think I really think gyms should hire you ladies to figure out why so many people drop out and do not complete their gym membership. I definitely think that's a good idea. So if there's any gyms listening out there, you know where to go. Come to these ladies. So yes, fitness is one of the biggest things that people fail on. It's one of the number one goals that people set and fail on. So there's a rise in, I think, fitness signups at the beginning of the year. But by February, they dwindle down almost to half. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, is there a criterion to set more effective goals or New Year's resolutions? I would say, Danielle, you could start us off on that one.
Well, again, going back to figuring out your why for me is really critical, and not just for setting goals, but just, or not just for New Year's resolution, but for setting any goal. Really, it's like, really, you want the result, but are you really wanting to do the work that it's going to take to get to that result? So you have to really understand why you want to do something. Just like someone starts up a new business, or, you know, or just wants to do something different. That's not a habit. It's about really figuring out your why. And a goal without a plan is just a wish. I don't know who said that, but that's a quote. So having a detailed action plan to break down the goal into, for me, I like to, if it's a New Year's goal, then generally you want to complete it. If your deadline is December, then break it down into monthly goals if you want. So having that detailed action plan, and it's, to me, the goal really should be creating a habit. So if it's to lose weight, the goal really should be the habit of going to the gym, or the habit of eating healthier, or the habit of eating out less, eating in more. You know what I mean? Like, it's about figuring out the steps to get to the goal, to get to the end result, but it's about creating those habits. And once you create the habit, then it just becomes easier, and then you don't even think about it as much. So that's why it fails in the first month or 6 weeks, is because it's not long enough. They didn't create the habit. They didn't even, like, if I don't go to the gym, I don't work out, I'll admit, I had a dog, I don't have him anymore. I used to walk 3 times a day. Now I'm lucky if I get out once a day. And it's unfortunate, because I created that habit with my dog to take him out, you know, morning, noon, and night. And I didn't even think about it. And now that I don't have him, I've lost that habit. So you've got to create the habit. And then even if it's 5 minutes at the gym for the first month, for 3 days a week, it could just be go in for 5 minutes and then leave, right? It's just, and then the next month you go in for 15 minutes and then leave. Or, you know, it's about starting small, having those steps. And then at the end of 30 days, go back and reevaluate what went well, what didn't go well, how can I improve it? And then you kind of start over for February, or improve on it for February. So I think having those details, like if you put 20 pounds, I want to lose 20 pounds by the end of the year, that's only 1.6 pounds every month. So that sounds way more achievable than saying you want to lose 20 pounds. So then you put the action plan in on after you have your why, then you put the action plan in on how am I going to lose 1.6 pounds. And then as you're starting those habits, the third, fourth, fifth month are just going to be way easier than the first 2 to 3. So yeah, I mean, it's just starting small, and small steps create that habit, and they will create the larger results.
It's like eat one chip less from the bag. So yes, I will
One
start
chip.
with one chip less.
You're going to take a
Adriana,
while.
Adriana, what about yourself? Is there any criterion to set a more effective New Year's resolution or goal?
I would say go to the grocery store with your hands tight so you don't grab those chips. It's just like when you start, you have one, you can't stop, right? But I agree with Danielle, and then I find that the best thing to do is really put yourself up to the challenge, because everything is a challenge, and if it was easy, everybody would do it, right? That's why, nothing would be different in the new year if everybody could do it at any time. However, people have their difficulties, their obstacles, and they have to work gradually towards what they want to achieve. I would say persistence is a good thing to use, and just don't give up when you think that, oh my God, it's too much, 20 pounds, oh my God, when am I going to lose 20 pounds? How? Right? So there are tricks around it. You have to really change, talking about eating, right? If you go for the nutritious foods that you're supposed to eat versus the junk, buying the certain foods, really making sure that you find out why you're really eating, right? What's triggering you the excessive eating? Is it emotional related? Is it right? Is it really a shield you're creating towards your body so you push people away? A lot of people are like that, right? And that's why by growing the belly, it's just like don't come any close. So work on those behind the scenes triggers, but really practice what you want to do, whatever the challenge it is, the minimum or the biggest. Put yourself to the challenge and push through it, right? And it is not easy when you start. However, if you keep doing bit by bit, it becomes a habit. And then when you least expect, oh my God, I'm already doing it now, 20 pounds. Okay, I can do 25. Right?
I like to think that I'm supporting the economy by eating chips and I'm stimulating it. So one chip at a time. So Stephanie, what about yourself? Is there any criterion to set a more effective New Year's resolution or goal?
Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything that Adriana and Danielle said. That you need to have your why. You need to have a reason to keep you going. But one of the other things that I think is also very effective is having a support system. Maybe having someone else that's on the same journey to keep you accountable. Whether it's losing weight or exercising, that will help you to achieve your goal as well. And having things or using images or pictures that motivate you. For example, if one of your goals is to lose weight, maybe, or get back to your weight when you were in your 20s, if you can find a picture of yourself when you were in your 20s and put it up in front of you so you see it every day. Because pictures or images are very powerful. And those can help you. I've heard someone say, put that picture on the fridge. So every time you go to the fridge, you see the picture and you won't eat as much. I don't know if it works. I've never tried it.
You will cry.
I'll put up I'll put up a picture of me eating chips when I was
okay, that won't help.
Sorry, go ahead.
No guilt. No guilt.
Go ahead, finish.
But having images of the goal that you want to achieve in front of you, that will help you as well to keep on track and to help you keep you motivated. So have things to inspire you. Maybe have a vision board that shows exactly what you want to look like. So you have something to work towards. And again, as Danielle said, creating those habits. And they say it takes 21 to 60 days to create a habit. So give yourself time to be able to create those change that you want. it's not going to happen right away. It will take time, and you have to make the commitment to be committed to the process to get there. And don't be so hard on yourself. No one's perfect, and we're all on this journey of trying to achieve goals and get to where we want to be. So don't be so hard on yourself, and set small goals, and reward yourself when you achieve it, because that will help you to keep you motivated, and that will give you something to strive towards.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So everybody, so our viewers listening here, so we not only know how to set a goal, we actually know why we need to set goals, how they become effective, and we know now that if you don't know your why, you can't really understand why that goal, why you're really setting that goal. And then you have to break it down, take small steps, understand your belief systems, and then create those habits. Reward yourself when you're winning on those habits, have an accountability partner, and do some visualization around that. Have a vision board. So we have all three of our ladies telling us how to move forward. Do you guys have anything to add on the criterion, or anything to add on what any of you other what anybody else said?
I think Adriana is really right too in the mindset part. Like you can almost wire, if you're setting the same goals every year and not accomplishing them, there's a deeper reason. And by looking back to your past and your family and growing up and kind of seeing, like I spoke with a client the other day is spending a lot of money on food and is struggling with controlling her spending on food. So as we went through mindset about her growing up, she revealed that her family, she felt her family showed her love, that she felt their love through food. And it's like, then it just becomes this light bulb moment, right? Where you kind of now it's like, oh, okay, now I get why I can't stop spending on food, because, you know, for my kids, that that mindset is still there from her growing up. So that's just an example of going, you know, back in time and understanding maybe what's holding you back, like Adriana said. And I think that's a really good exercise to do, and something that, you know, coaches are, you know, do a lot. So it's having a coach, like Stephanie said, whether it's an accountability partner that you're a friend or someone that you're sharing things with, or you're actually hiring a physical trainer or a coach or a life coach, you know, to work with you. Those are important things to look at.
Mm-hmm. So moving on to question 4, that's actually a very good point and very good summary. And this question goes to Adriana. Is it important to set timelines for New Year's resolutions, and does it discourage us from setting more goals or more resolutions when we don't achieve them?
I'm not the right person for you to ask this to. I've never, I swear, like I don't remember setting any goals or resolutions for myself, because I know what I want to get where I want to get to. And that's always constantly playing in my head. So what you see in your head, you will see in front of you. But this is like bringing it into reality, which is a different story, right? However, really putting myself to the pressure of doing it, I can't, I don't know how to do it. I have the persistence to go after what I'm looking for, right? And work my way and pave my path so I can get there. However, the pressure, I'm going to give myself 6 months, 2 months, a year. I've been disappointed many times before, trying to do something, never long term, but even the short term, because if things happen along the way, what do you do with them? How do you blame yourself for not achieving? So this is my thinking, right? And I don't think I can go any other way. It's just like in my head, that's how I see it, that's how I feel it in my heart. So
Mm-hmm. No, that's very true. What do you do if things happen along the way? And for yourself, Stephanie, is it important to set timelines for New Year's resolutions or goals? And if you fail, does it discourage you from setting more resolutions?
I think it is important, but set realistic timelines. Don't be so rigid with your timeline. because it's important to reassess yourself after a certain time period. See what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and where you can adjust. So maybe setting monthly goals or quarterly goals, just to see where you're at and assess yourself. And you can look and see where you've come from and where you are. And for some people, myself included, it's motivation for me when I can look back and see where I was and where I am now. And also, I like to reward myself when I achieve a goal. So for me, I'm looking forward to that. And some people need that. You need that little boost to keep you going. And so for me, I think it's important, but you don't set it too strict. And if you don't achieve it, it's okay. As long as you don't quit, just keep going. And just maybe look at it, review it, and see what changes you can make for you to be able to achieve that goal next month. So don't look at timeline as a negative thing. For me, as I said, I like celebrating, so I look forward to that. And if I don't hit it, then I look forward to it next month. And it's just a way to reassess and look at where you are and where you're going.
Mm-hmm. That's actually a very good way of looking at it. So similar to what Adriana said, set that goal, but don't be so strict on it and continue to reevaluate, but do set that goal and do look at some timelines around it. So awesome. And Danielle, for yourself, is it important to set a timeline for your New Year's resolution? And if you fail, does it discourage you from setting new goals or new resolutions?
Doesn't discourage me, but it can't, it can, and we've talked about this before, in that New Year's resolutions are kind of counterintuitive of, if you don't achieve them and then you give up, right? So I think for me, I like it when you reverse engineer the result. So what result do you want in how many months? So if it is by December 31st, you want to achieve this certain goal. Let's use money, for example. You want to have $5,000 in a savings account. Let's get off the weight and talk about money.
Or the chips.
So yeah, if you want to set a savings goal or save 15% of your income, every paycheck, for example, whatever that goal is, it's about, if it's something you're not already doing, you don't want to set it so high in your first month and you don't reach it, and then you give up. So again, it's about maybe at the end of the year, you have an X amount in a savings account, for example, but you start off small, and every 2 weeks, maybe you just, if you're not saving at all, as soon as you get paid, maybe you have an automatic transfer from your paycheck into a savings account or into an investment or wherever you want to put it, for $20 every paycheck, right? Or $50 or $10 or whatever that starting amount is, and something that is achievable in the first month. And then as you go along, and you can increase it a little bit every paycheck, and then again, reward yourself at the end of the month. Don't go spend the money, but reward yourself, and know what that reward is going to be at the end of the month, and pat yourself on the back and go, good job, right? But if you don't reach it, and then like Stephanie said, you go back and analyze, what went wrong? Why was it so difficult? Why didn't I achieve it? What was the reason it didn't work? Is it just because I didn't commit to myself to do it, or do I just not have enough money to do it? So I think journaling for me was always like daily, every morning, to get up and write in a journal before I do anything else, about how I'm feeling and what's going on and what my goal is and what my goal statement is for the month, and rereading that every day, and being, grateful for the day, and being grateful that I can go exercise, or grateful, it's like I get to exercise today, as opposed to I have to exercise today. You know what I mean? It's again, it's about the language, like Adriana is so familiar with, and how you talk to yourself, right? And I don't think you should give up. I think it's about recognizing progress and not perfection. And there's a lot of perfectionists out there. And that can be debilitating if you're a perfectionist. So you really have to just strive for, again, like we've talked about before, just progression and just being a little bit better every day.
Yes, I am very positive when I eat chips. So every time I eat one, I just take it and I'm very, very positive. But all jokes aside, ladies, this is absolute gold. Our viewers, again, I hope you're taking notes. This is on Facebook Live. Come back and watch it on our Public Allies page because you're getting a blueprint on not only how to look at New Year's resolutions, but to look at everything that you're doing. Um, Everything that you can do is can be based on goals. What are your belief systems? What are your habits? How are you being accountable to yourself? How are you visualizing it? Are you writing to yourselves? Are you setting the right statements? So thank you so much, ladies. Moving on to our questions. Actually, I didn't ask, do you guys have anything to add to each other's statements? Anything that we might have missed that our viewers might really enjoy? Anything? Yeah. Okay, moving on. Uh-huh. Moving on. Okay, seeing that so many people fail and are unable to complete their New Year's resolutions, how do we help individuals bounce back from this failure? So, did it, ate a whole bunch of chips. I think I ate my feelings. There's some kind of belief system around it. How do we bounce back? How do we bounce back from that failure that I didn't achieve my fitness goals, I didn't achieve my wellness goals, my mental health goals, I didn't achieve, my money goals, and these are the biggest goals that are set during the year. So how do we help our viewers, ourselves, bounce back from all of these things? And I would say, can we start with Stephanie?
Okay. The first thing I will say, it's okay. It's okay to fail. Don't beat up yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. No one is perfect. And look at failure from a different perspective. Look at it as failure as feedback. What can you learn and how can you do things differently? We talked about the why. Once you have a compelling why, this is something that you obviously want to achieve. So look at it and see what can I do different? How can I learn from this failure? Failure is it's a part of the process once you're trying to achieve a goal or any success. Anyone that's ever done anything great has failed. So you will not be the first one to fail. So it's okay. That's the first part. And then look at it and see how you can change things and how you can move from there. But don't get stuck in that failure, and know that it's okay and you can move on from there. And also, it's okay if you're on your process, you're on your journey of achieving whatever goal it is, and you feel like you want to step back a little bit. It's okay to take a break and just assess, but don't stop and don't quit. You got to get back in the game, right? But it's okay. That's the one thing I want to say. It's not something that's new to you and unique to you. But the important thing is not to stay there, not to beat up yourself, and not to get down, and to get back in the game, whatever it is you're trying to achieve. Get back and try, but look at it and assess it and do something different, because maybe what you were doing is not working, and you don't want to continue to do the same thing if it's not working. I think I forget who said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So you have to look at your failures and you have to assess it and change it and tweak it and try something different if you want to achieve the goals that you have.
Definitely. I think that was Albert Einstein.
Albert Einstein, that's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It would have killed me if I didn't say it.
Yes.
I was like, that was Albert Einstein. So,
Yes.
Adriana, what about yourself? Seeing that so many people fail and are unable to complete their New Year's resolutions, how do we help those individuals bounce back? What would you say?
So being a body talk practitioner, this is my job. That's what I do usually with people. Really look for that root cause of any hidden reason behind it. Is it a belief system? Is this something that you were told by somebody or anybody along your life? Was it something that your parents told you that you were not going to make it ever, or that you were a failure, that you were dumb, or whatever you were told? Or was it a coworker? Was it a boss? Right? And it's funny, we usually forget the good things, but we never forget at one single bad word that is told us, right? We always hold on to that. And that gets stored in our subconscious mind. And so Body Talk can clear those, what we call active memories, from your subconscious mind, and really make you start fresh, right? Just taking that burden off of your back and off of your chest. Usually emotions are stored in our diaphragm, in our chest diaphragm, in our heart, in our lungs. And it can start really building ramifications throughout the body. And even pain can materialize that way. And it's usually not even physical. Like 90% of things that we have in our body is from our mind and attached to emotions. So once we release that, we start healing and moving forward. And once you are on the right path, guess what? Everything starts being attracted to you, or you would start attracting things into you. And this is the principle in Body Talk, right?
Mm-hmm. I think it was Bessel van der Kolk, The Body Keeps Score. That reminds me of that book. I just had to say it out. It's a wonderful book, and it talks about how your body holds memory and how your organs hold muscle memory and emotions, such as PTSD. On average, actually, it takes, I think this is from the Gottman Institute, it takes an average of 5 positive things to happen for you to forget one negative thing that's happened in a day. So you're right. Overwhelmingly, we do hold on to more negative things than we do positive things. So, Danielle, what about yourself? So, seeing that so many people do fail and they're unable to complete their New Year's resolutions, how do you help individuals bounce back from that?
Well, first, I think as a coach and working with clients, whatever the goal is you tell them expect to fail. Like it's not that it's you wonder if it's going to happen, that you chances are you will, and be okay with that, like Stephanie said. And it's interesting because I agree with Stephanie in setting, I like to set big goals too. And I like to envision that I'm already there. Like I really want to build this house, and my boyfriend's like, we'll never be able to afford the house you want to build. So it's like, no, I know, right? Like I want to have this, that's kind of my dream is to build this nice house. And maybe it won't happen, but if I don't have that goal, then I don't have anything to kind of reach towards. And if I make it smaller, so if you have like this really big goal and you get here, then that's awesome. Even if you don't get there, it's really about the journey. And it's not really about getting to the end result. It really should be about the journey. And if you set a big goal and you get here, that's great. But if you only set here and now you're only getting to this point, then why not set that big goal? Because chances are you're going to achieve more of it than if you just kind of keep your goal really small. That's just me. That's not for everybody. But, if I don't build that house, that's okay if I don't build the house. But it gets me up every morning and it makes me go to work every day. And it makes me, it gives me that kind of purpose that's just my thing that I really want to accomplish. And if I don't, then that's okay. So I think it's about really embracing the journey of just being a little bit better every day. And I think the goal should be about being being ahead of the game than you were at the same point last year. So like at Christmas this coming year, we just want to be better than you were at the Christmas last year. But if you don't actually reach the goal, it's really not about reaching the goal. It's about what are the new habits you created? How much better do you feel about yourself? If you still, if in that weight journey, I mean, you still might have increased your energy. Maybe you didn't reach the actual number, but maybe your energy is quite a bit better. That's a success, right? Like, so you just have to really embrace the middle part, not just the end goal.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. I love how you ladies put it. I'm gonna bring you all to my house. I'm gonna keep you guys can all
I'm
call
there.
me in the morning.
Okay.
Call me in the morning. Tell me not to eat the bag of chips. Tell me why it's a part of my belief system. So it's amazing, ladies. Do you guys have anything to add to whatever that was said by any one of your speakers? So do you have anything to add to each other?
I just want to add to what Danielle just said about the journey. Yes, it's about the journey, enjoying the journey along the way, and enjoying the process. So don't forget about that as well, because sometimes we get so caught up in the goal, the end result, and that's that's the the carrot there, and you want that carrot so bad, but enjoy the process, enjoy the person you're becoming, because you're changing. You have to change to get to those goals. So enjoy the person that you're becoming in the process, because you're just becoming a better version of yourself. Right. So just enjoy it. Live in the moment, and don't get too caught up in the process and trying to hit that target really. But yeah, that really resonated with me about the journey. And sometimes we forget, and then we hit that goal, and then it's like, oh, it didn't feel the way I thought it would, and you didn't enjoy the process.
Mm-hmm.
When you reach that goal, then what's next? Now you want more.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, great if you reach it, but when you get there, it's exactly right. You might not feel, okay, well, this is it. I'm supposed to, jump up and down for joy. I reach this goal, but it's like, okay, now what? Right. So yeah, it's the journey is the biggest. That's great. Thanks, Stephanie.
I think also that not to blame yourself for not having done things just yet. Take responsibility, yes, but oh my God, I've wasted so much time and it's maybe too late. I mean, it is what it is. Maybe you didn't have the knowledge to do things earlier, right? Maybe this is your time. Things only happen to us when they're meant to. Otherwise, they won't even cross our path. So if you crossed your mind and if you came through this live because this is your kick that you need, then yes, this is your time. So look forward, never backwards.
And at night, I also feel a good thing to do is even write down a little mini journal at night right before you go to bed, and say what you're proud of yourself for that day. And what happens when you do it at night is then you go to sleep, and then you wake up, and as you keep doing that every night and you're journaling in the morning, your dreams start to become more positive, and then you wake up subconsciously, and then you wake up in a little bit of a better mindset. So you got to talk to yourself better. You got to talk to yourself the way your friends, you would talk to your friends, and we tend to not be very good at doing that with ourselves. So we have to be better. We have to be better to ourselves.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
I agree 100%. Sorry, Adriana, what were you gonna say?
now just take a picture of all of us and stick to your fridge. That's all.
And right over, I'll put a bag of Lay's chips. So, when we're sitting down and we're looking at journeys, it's so important. Set a goal to love yourself, and a lot of people often avoid that goal, and they set the goal to lose weight, and they set the goal to eat less chips, they set the goal to go off there and achieve a whole bunch of money. But the real goal in life is to love yourself. And are you able to love yourself? Are you able to say that? So what our speakers really are telling us, they're giving us a roadmap to love ourselves through that journey. So we set goals to become better. So each time we set a goal, whether we achieve it or not, what we're really wanting to do is love ourselves more. So love yourself like you love others, is what I'm really hearing from you guys. And don't punish yourself. Be a friend to yourself. Just the way you treat others really well, how do you treat yourself is a lot is some of the things that I'm gathering from you. And I think our listeners will gather that as well. Set goals with good intentions, do things that are different from other people, and you might not reach that goal, but you will be further than when you first started because you went ahead and you did something. You had a roadmap, you knew where you were going, and you're willing to do the hard work. You're willing to question your belief systems. Like somebody told me chips were really good when I was a kid, and I was like, okay. Uh, and then you're willing to look at who you are. So, ladies, do you have anything to add as last words for any one of our viewers to help move them forward in their journey of not just setting New Year's resolutions, but failing and then setting goals and reevaluating? Anything around that?
I would say forgive yourself, and it's through the challenge that we grow. So keep going.
Mhm. Anything else? Okay,
Um,
everybody. So, oh, sorry, Stephanie, you
no,
were
no,
gonna.
yeah, no, I think, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
Okay, and through the journey we grow. So, as we finish up, everybody, if you want to contact any one of our speakers and learn a little bit more about what they do, they have their special offerings. Their information is down below. So, contact them, get a hold of them, and figure out how you can maximize your life, learn how to love yourself better, and set those goals for yourself. For us, Public Allies will be coming back with more information and more things for you. We're going to be starting a different networking group with support building aspects to it, with skill building aspects to it. So you can look forward to seeing that on our platform. And we will be doing some small business offerings as well. So if you have any more questions or information, if you'd like additional information, contact us at Public Allies Inc. and we'll be happy to help you. And thank you again to our beautiful speakers, wonderful group of ladies, Adriana, Danielle, and Stephanie. We look forward to having you guys back on our platform and speaking to you again. Thank you so much for taking out your personal time and sharing all of this wonderful information with us and giving us a roadmap to setting some effective goals for ourselves and moving forward and understanding it's okay if we fail and the New Year's resolutions because most people do. So thank you very much again, ladies. Public Allies thanks you from the bottom of our heart, and I have thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed your guys' company. We should just have a coffee talk together. And thank you so much. And bye from us at Public Allies. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy
Bye.
New Year.
Happy New
Happy
Year.